Hello, everybody. Hi, hello, WWW, whole wide world watching. I'm here with a very good friend, and we may have some other people join us shortly. I was just speaking to him about my passion, about my own living prophecy, and I want to just get it out. Michael said record it, and I will. What we're seeing right now in North Dakota at the Standing Rock Sioux Reservation is the revival. This is the gathering. This is where the line got drawn. The galactic wave has come to shore. Okay, so this is a confrontation. This is where we, the people, stand up and walk. Michael and I have been sharing about sovereignty. We know that we are sovereign. We've walked our walk, and we've walked through walls. So we're here to speak today. And so I was just telling Michael how vital this is, and how the whole world is waking up. We have Palestinians. We have people in the Netherlands. We have the Maori dancing in New Zealand. Okay, this is it, folks. Okay, this is where the line got drawn. Okay, this is where we, the people, are meeting the tyranny of the corporate terrorism. I suggest everybody that hears this podcast get online. I will post in the YouTube video, all the Facebook groups, all the people. Yesterday, watching with my own eyes from feeds on the ground from the seventh generation. These people know why they're here. They're awake. They are our star brothers and sisters. And I watched as a militarized police force, along with hired security from the Dakota Access Pipeline people, they had snipers on the hill, all right? And these people were in prayer, no weapon. They stood them down. Okay, and we watched the police back up through the power of prayer. The bison came herding over the hills at one moment. It was a phenomena of phenomena. So this, friends, is where we stand. This is where we're going to make our stand. And we're watching the whole world waking up right now. So get the news out. Get on the news feeds. Look at these young people. They're beautiful. They are so beautiful. They only speak of love and peace and our stewardship of Mother Earth. So we are the awakening, we are the lion, and we are roaring. I just, in any way you can support us, anyway. I will be leaving very shortly. I will be there on election day. I am committed to bring media equipment. I am already have been gifted with lots of warm clothing, medicine, a lot of things. So if you want to contribute, if you want an address to send anything to, I will put it also in the below. We are Earth Empaths on Facebook. You can come join there. We are constantly updating the live feeds as they come in. We're also, this is a very, very important thing for those that are following sovereignty. It's a Sioux tribe, okay? After the big fall at Little Bighorn, when Leonard Peltier and Russell Means and all of that had the shootout with our already tyrannical government, these people started mobilizing. This is a mobilization that's been taking place for a long time. And some of those people, and I can't mention their names, I don't remember them, actually withdrew as citizens of the United States of America, and they are their own sovereign nation. They are their own sovereign nation with their own laws. They have diplomatic status within the United States of America. And the Sioux and the Lakota are claiming back their ancestral rights from the broken treaties of the United States of America. They are not doing anything illegal. The United States of America has broken every trust, every treaty throughout time. And so what we're seeing here is an already sovereign people standing together, united. So anything you can do. This is not a time to just be on your keyboard. This is a time to mobilize. In your communities, get posters out, get the word out. Even in my community, which is a wide awake, aware, conscious, new age gurus and healers, nobody here knows. Nobody here knew. Not a single person. I walked into every organic market. I walked into the health food shops. I went and talked to the people, and nobody knew about it because up until yesterday, there was a mass media blackout. All right? So get out on the street. Go talk to your neighbors and friends. Show them what's happening, because there's nothing like seeing it with your own eyes. Nothing like it. Take out your drums, burn your sage, make your own ceremony, light the sacred fire in your own heart. Okay, this is the time now, friends. There is no other time. It is now. Hi, Michael. Did I do that okay?
Beautiful.
Okay, so yes.
Beautiful.
So I don't know if you want to ask me anything, because I know you were aware of it, but you hadn't quite gotten deep into it. So I'm very open to answering questions. I also want to say something.
Whoa.
Go ahead, and I will make a statement.
No, go ahead. Finish.
Okay, so,
Please finish.
okay, this is to the awake and aware. All right, this is to those that have been on the internet looking at all the feeds, all the memes, all of you, okay, who have been the great keyboard warriors. I want to speak to you. If you look at your life, you are your own prophecy. All of us have that capacity to really realize in this very now moment, your whole life is showing you who you are. So embrace your essence, go to center, go 0 point, and start radiating that which you were created to be.
Yeah.
And so this isn't about information out there anymore. This is about inner gnosis. This is about the inner fire. This is about eternal life. And I know that many of you are very, very aware, but you're still searching on the internet. You're still searching from somebody else's word. You're still hoping that some piece of information is going to make it all sense to you. It's not. It's inside. It's inside you. If you can look with eyes wide open, you will look at your life, and you look at everything, and you will see your own prophecy. I've gone native.
Yes. Yeah. Beautiful. That's pretty much in different words. That pretty much in different words sums up exactly what I was going to say, from a slightly different perspective, that it's so much about stopping doing harm to ourselves, uncovering the layers of the lies and the garbage that we have been believing and bought, and therefore creating by our own participating in it. So you're exactly right. When we start working on ourselves and projecting that newness out, that clearness of understanding, because from the perspective that I'm looking at it, we're not going or getting somewhere or learning something. We are uncovering that which we are and expressing as that creator that is involved fully with its own creation. And so it's perfect. It's like it's very beautiful. Very beautiful.
I want to show something, a very deep demonstration that I have almost nothing left of any of my life. I've given away so much in my life. I don't have mementos. I don't have photos. I don't have anything. All right. I really don't. Except for today, I remembered I had this. Okay. I made this. I don't know if anybody can actually see it. All right. I made this when I was 12 years old. It's the only thing I ever sculpted out of clay. All right. And I remembered it today, and it was in a closet, and I took it out, and I realized that I had already at 12 years old known where I was going to go. You know, so this is what I mean by looking at your life, looking at your own creations. Look what you've created. Look what you've written. Look what you've done with your life. And if you're not happy with it, if you're still fearful, if you're still like hanging on to a paycheck and a job that you hate in a corporation, start walking. I can guarantee by my own life lived that the fields of abundance will open up and embrace you. And that is part of this whole movement that's happening right now. This is people supporting people. I wouldn't be here being able to have a roof over my head if I were not supported by others. And so I give freely. Anything that runs through me is given. Anything, wherever it's needed, wherever my spirit guides me. This is not about me at all. I am in a fluid reality now. And that is the nature of abundance.
Yep.
I'm very
Yeah.
bold.
What you hang on to, when you hang on to anything, you're stopping the flow. So it's when you receiving and passing it on, or that's being in that flow that you're talking about. It's like, that's a beautiful place to be. I recognize that fully.
I know you
honor
do.
you.
Yeah. So another metaphor for that is like, this is a chalice. This is a holy chalice, the holy vessel. And so we empty it and it's filled, and we empty it and it's filled. You know, it is exactly like that. And it's so vital that people really start to understand that, so they can start to break away from whatever bonds that they still have. There's no other out there, friends. There is no other out there. Okay. There are forces.
That's right.
There are definitely forces to be dealt with, but it doesn't mean there's other.
They're us.
I know.
We has met the enemy, and they is us.
Truly, truly. And so what are we going to do? You know, I mean, I have been, getting messages for many, many months that the time for action was going to come. It's here. It's right now. You know, and we don't all, I love Claudia. I wish she was here with us. She and our...
Oh, my. Yes.
Yeah, in our other videos, she's so beautifully, how she does it. She just takes one sentence and it says everything. Baby steps.
Yep.
Baby steps. Yep. You don't have to, just because some of us have been pushed off the cliff and had to learn to fly, there's baby steps that can be taken, I mean, there's so many. If you look around, there's so many.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It's
pull out money. Every time you purchase something within the corporate construct, you're giving your consent. So it's little by little pull away from that. Just, share with your neighbors. Go to an organic guy that's growing food around there. Find a farmer. I don't know. I mean, I could go on and on, but I think the point's been made.
Right.
So, Michael, yeah. So,
well, if I may, but one of the things that I noticed, or I've been noticing, is that recognizing that the connection of us as spirit, or the way I term it as we are the creator in the flesh, experiencing our creation. I like to view it that way. Now, for me, the things of the astral, the things of the archons, the demons, the jinn, the heaven and the hell, the God and the Satan, and all of that are man's creations as creator, but creations that are unformed. Therefore, they don't have the breath of life. So they're not in the reality that we're experiencing here in the flesh, because they're not in alignment with that original dream of life, so to speak, if I may term it that way, the more life for all. But when you embrace that life as the creator, as the spirit, and in that embracing, you're embracing the love, which is what gives it the breath of life. You now have the two energies, the creation energy, which is what happens in all these other things, but they don't have the love or that which brings it into the physical. That's my viewpoint, and it's not expressed extremely well, but that's how I'm seeing things. And so it ties in perfectly with me, for me, when you're saying if we wake up to who we are and we start embracing that life or that love for life, the breath itself, and we start acting as who we are. And, for me, that's a part of that is just, it's not a matter of growing or finding or arriving at something. It's, well, maybe finding, because you're uncovering the layers of garbage you're digging down through and you're finding yourself. Or maybe another way of looking at it was you're the seed that's been pushing up through the stubborn sod, and then all of a sudden you break out and you see the light, and then you really reach out. So in whatever way we're looking at it, and whatever works for each individual. It's a beautiful picture to me of embracing that life, embracing the love, embracing the living, the life. And when we're interacting with the living and the things of life, that we're not busy at that point being distracted by the information of the dead world, the corporations and the so forth. And we're also not involved in the distortions or the earning of money or the distraction of this thing or that thing or the other thing, the vices and all those things. So beautiful. I mean, I'm with you 100%. And I wish Claudia were here as well, because I've enjoyed some beautiful conversations with her. And by the way, I'll mention on this recording that what really the first time I saw you and Claudia interacting, and I watched one video with you, the two of you and the lady can't
Lily
starts with an L. I can't think of her name. Lily. And it was so beautiful. And then I also watched another video with you and Claudia and Randy and Jeffrey.
Yeah.
And in both cases, I noticed the space that Claudia was holding and the fullness of her expression of heart. And as you put it, those few words. And that was so attractive to me. And I recognized in that a friend of mine, Ken's, who we've also asked to be here if it's possible today. But it's very similar, different, and yet similar in that holding that space. And in the recognition, as you have expressed, and as I'm trying to express, of who we are, when we come to that, then we begin to recognize, it's not always so much about doing, and that's a part of things, but we can't really, or what we're doing is sometimes lost if we aren't knowing who we are and acting from that place, because then we're maybe misguided or misdirected or misformed. I love the way Jeffrey put that, the unfolded or the misfolded in the biology of the things, how he was putting it.
Yeah, he talks about the nucleus of the cell.
Yeah, the misfolded protein.
Right, so the proteins have to be folded properly before they can be released into the system, and he put that on the soul, right? That we as soul is that egg, that shell that we have all these experiences in, and until we're folded properly, until we come into that center point of alignment, we will be and continuously are ejecting from ourselves the distortion. When you get closer to that place in yourself and that acceptance and that love, because it all starts with self-love, because we are love. And so when we get to that place, then our work becomes something totally different. There's no fear in it. There's no doubt in it. And as you and I talked before, Michael, you're expressing from a physical male form right now. I'm expressing from a female form. So we use different metaphors. We use different language. For me, and I love Carl Jung. I mean, Carl Jung knew exactly what he was here for. He says there is a dark passage. It's down through the deep well, and nobody will be spared that passage. Okay, when we go down the deep well, okay, because we have the upper higher planes, but we also have the deep down lower planes. And that lower passage is to clear out all of those things that are not life-giving in us, all of those things that are based on fear, on doubt, on past lives. So we also have to take that passage. And for me, it's become simultaneous. All right, so the deeper I go, the deeper I go down into this well, coming from the fields of dark light. It's not all bright light, folks. There's a dark light, and that's where power is, all right? And nobody can go there. Nobody can touch it. Nobody can actually really understand what that is, because it's not power over. It's internal power of determination. And it does not get questioned, because when you're there. You don't need anybody else to tell you. You don't need to argue with anybody else. You don't even need to prove your point. And so that's why I love about talking with you, Michael, is because we have both aspects in ourselves. We do. We have both of those aspects. And so often we get lost in choosing one over the other. Some people
Yes.
get lost in the shadow.
Lost.
Yeah, and others get lost in the light, and others get lost in the light. There is a huge amount of false light matrices out there that people are trapped in right now. So, by speaking.
Interesting.
Go ahead. I'm going to grab.
I was gonna share a little story. Interestingly enough, I'm visiting with my mother's sister. She's, I think, about 78, and she's I'm helping her with a patio door that has not worked well, and we're actually tearing the foundation out underneath it and going to rehang the whole door and put a new threshold in. But at any rate, I was sharing with her this morning. We were talking, having a beautiful conversation, and that very idea came up, expressed as this, and this came from Wayne Dyer, and she liked that and wanted to write it down to remember it. And that is that expression that he used to give of open to everything, attached to no thing. And what you were talking about there, when we get lost, or that's where someone, they find something that's part of a truth or a truth, and they attach to it, maybe to the exclusion of other things sometimes, or they go off down what we would call going down a rabbit trail, or getting up on a soapbox, or that various type of thing. But it's beautiful when you can recognize who you are and see the other as you, and see the other viewpoint expressing from a different angle or a different direction or a different inclination, but then you can see that and not lose the focus of who you are and recognize the other in you. It's so beautiful. I think that's some of what is going on here with these people that you're referring to that are awake or coming awake. And we're all at one level of that or another. Anyone that would probably watch this will be awake to some degree, or they wouldn't be coming this direction. But it's, and there's no, I'm not saying I'm here and somebody else is there. I'm just saying we're all awake at one level or another. And as we recognize each other and recognize that the other is us, and that includes the police that are marching and the guns, because the enemy are us. And we literally, if we look at ourselves deeply, as you mentioned, go down that well, we will see all those aspects. In fact, the fact that we notice them out there tells us that that's part of our creation. Right. And in so many ways, we have been expressing that in the doing of the harm to our own bodies has also been a reflection of what's happening on the earth. So as we clean up our act and become aware of who we are and stop doing the harm, I think we'll stop seeing the harm being done. And especially as the power of that, the resonation of that, like all of the people that are awake, if we compared them to tuning forks, so to speak, for a mental picture, when one of us begins vibrating at a higher vibrational level, or the next one that observes that, when it's coming from the heart space, as is so obvious with you and Claudia and others that you've shared with on the videos, when that resonates so deeply with my heart. But then I start vibrating at that level. And then as the two of us, three of us, four of us are resonating at that level, it begins to ring out to where others start vibrating at that. And it's interesting to me that with a tuning fork, there is no loss of the energy that's being vibrated out. It actually gets a feedback from the other, and both connect. Yeah, and it's exactly.
Yeah, I know. I want to bring it back to I'm going to bring it back to sovereignty a little bit right now with the Native American. Okay. With the nations, they're called the First Nations. All right, they go by the name the First Nations. And if you start to think about the word nation, nativity, native, birth. All right, so we are birthing a new nation. All right, of all people. We've all been through all the cycles now. All right, those of us that are called to this. So we can vibrate out of that field. And just to go to their ceremonies, this is how they have elders, they have council. They don't make arbitrary rules. They don't put power over. And, their ceremonies are very, very deep. And see, this is the thing that we can learn how to do is hear all viewpoints, hold the living field, okay, for those riot geared, tethered to death followers. You see, if we can hold that field for them, all right, and we don't go to hate, we don't go to violence, we're just holding them in that love. And that's what these kids are doing. And they're kids. I'm telling you, you look at those pure faces and those eyes, and it's nothing but love that they're emanating. Nothing but love. And so even in their councils, that's the field that's created. And so when you come into council, you hear everybody. You don't go against anyone. And then out of that field arises the right action, and that's RITE, okay? Out of that field emerges the right action, right? And so this is where we that have been lost in the Western culture will return to. And the only way that I know to return to it is in my daily life. You see, I can't speak these words and then go out in my daily life. I'm a force field some days that, people probably rather not be around. But, on the other hand, I'm also breaking down walls. I'm crashing into the matrix everywhere I go. And, so I'm kind of like to some people I might be considered a wrecking ball, but I've actually never had that reaction to me lately.
I'm not.
Michael, would we like to just keep this segment? And
I could see where someone might think that. They're a beautiful wrecking ball.
Thank you. But come on, and when you think about it, folks, think about it. We're all in this. We're all individuated spirit in a united field. And so each of us has a tune to play. I embrace my tune. I don't really care if anybody else doesn't embrace me. I don't need them to do that for me to know.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree. Beautiful.
I know. So let me close this segment and let's see if we get Jolly and Ken and Claudia back with us and we can put this out in segments today. All right?
Sure. Okay.